Are you ready for the heavyweight championship of the world? Are you ready?
All right, so welcome back to and in this corner. My name is Bill, and I'm ready to fight.
And my name is Barry, and I'm ready to fight.
All right, I want a good, clean fight. Let's get it on.
All right, welcome to And in This Corner, where we settle the score once and for all on who's the best. That includes best music, best TV shows, best movies, best anything, basically. And this week in particular, Bill, what we talking about?
Man, we got a good one today. We are talking about verses. Not one versus, but two verses. Two verses popped up yesterday that we're going to talk about today. The first verses that we're going to discuss, we're talking about Bone Thugs and Harmony versus 3 6 Mafia.
And who else?
Man, and the one that popped up last night took me by surprise. Chaka Khan versus Stephanie Mills.
All right, so obviously these folks haven't stepped in the ring yet, but we're doing basically a preview, which we like to do, and we look at their catalogs and we kind of guess who's going to win. I guess we'll start off with Bone Thugs and Harmony versus 3 6, Bill. Let me ask you, big question. Does this matchup make sense to you?
Does this matchup make sense? Yes.
All right.
Yes.
At first it didn't for me, but it eventually did when I got a chance to look at it. And I'm like, okay, I see what they were thinking.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how you think that these correlate first, and then I'll chime in.
Well, you got Bone, who they're coming out of Ohio, no Cleveland. And they were signed to Ruthless with Eazy-E. So
R.I.P. Eazy-E.
R.I.P. Eazy-E. So he pulled them out of the Midwest, as we're calling it, Midwest, brought them out there to the West Coast. And they were nothing that we've heard before. They were different. They gave us a different sound. At least for me that I've heard at the time.
Midwest Midwest rappers typically sound like well, at least in this era, they sound really close to, like, it wasn't G-Funk, but it was like Western, like West Coast produced beats or whatever. So it was always weird. And actually, away from the music, the reason this makes sense for me, Bill, is because when Bone Thugs came out and when 3 6 came out, not when they came out, but when 3 6 started to pop, there was always criticism on like the devil worship, like even the naming of the group, satanic undertones. So I feel like both of those groups had the same type of criticism. 3 6 obviously 666 Mafia. And I remember the Bone Thugs album, when you bought it, the lyrics were written backwards. Something was written backwards on it. If you put it in front of the mirror, people would like say, "Oh, you casting spells." A lot of afterlife themes, like with the Crossroads video. Parents did not want us reciting Bone Thugs lyrics. And I remember in college, there was like, when Facebook first came out, there was like when Stay High was out, everybody was like, if you listen to the lyrics slowly, they saying the spell. Obviously, some of this stuff was false, but both of those these groups had like the same type of criticism when it came to like satanic worship or devil worship. So on paper, it makes sense to me because not necessarily with the music, but just with the storyline. I feel like, okay, there's some of the same themes and elements between these two groups. So it makes sense to me.
Makes sense.
All right, go ahead.
Like I said, you got the group out of Tennessee. You got one group out of Cleveland, Ohio. So like you said, both had demonic, satanic undertones to them, as it was stated amongst the people, the population or whatever, community. But but to go back to Bone, they gave us that sound. Not only did they rap fast, but they had more of a harmonization,
harmony
to go with it.
Yeah.
But they were really rapping though.
Yeah.
So not the rappy singing.
It's something we've never heard before.
Yeah.
Even after them, they were. They weren't even really mimicked like that. Like people say that a lot of rappers today are inspired by them. I get it. But they have a unique sound. I agree.
And with 3 6 Mafia and their club bangers, it was just everything was
Don't jump ahead. We getting into their catalog to see what's gonna happen. But before we get into the catalog, actually, are there any disadvantages? Like, let's talk about advantages. Wait, advantage first. Advantage first. Do you see any advantages for whether it's Bone Thugs or 3-6? For who?
I see it for 3-6. 3-6.
All right. All right. Originally, when I saw the matchup, just because I'm thinking about both of these groups have anthems, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought the anthems were skewed to Bone Thugs until I really pulled up the catalogs, and I was like, oh, I'm tripping. I agree with you. But on Bone Thugs end, I'm gonna try to give both of these guys a bone, no pun intended. But Crossroads is played at every funeral on a weekly basis, right? Somebody's getting high right now, so like sipping on some syrup, stay fly and stay high. And then also Notorious Thugs, as we speak, like somebody getting high to that right now. Slob on My Knob is getting played by both males and females on a weekly basis. And then first of the month is basically like, that's how you pregame for like income tax season or like welfare benefits. So they have classics that are tied to calendars, which we hear their music all the time. Now, both squads have classic records in heavy rotation because they're like rites of passages. But the one that has the main advantage, I agree with you, is 3-6. Their accolades may have been slower. I remember when Bone Thugs came out, they were probably a bigger group than I ever remember 3-6 being. But 3-6 has such longevity, and they continue to come out with bangers throughout their history to where they're going to benefit from a style like Verzuz.
So the reason why I say 3-6 has the advantage, one, like you just stated, longevity, and also you have a lot of production done by.
It's gonna get disgusting, bro.
DJ Paul.
When we get to the next session where we actually list their catalog, I left production out, and only because it's gonna be unfair. But it's fair game. But even with excluding the productions, they still kind of like beating them by a mile. But, and you just kind of listed, you kind of listed disadvantages, which is. Disadvantages for Bone Thugs is, 3-6 just has a lot of production credits. Okay, so let's go into their catalog. So we'll start off with Bone Thugs. What are some hits that we know are going to get played?
All right, so I got them all listed. We know we're going to hear the Crossroads, which let me give you a little accolade. It was the highest debuting rap single at the time. Spent number one for 8 weeks. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard, but that following week it jumped to number 1, and it was number 1 for 8 weeks. All right. So you're gonna hear the Crossroads.
Yep.
You're gonna hear Thuggish Ruggish Bone. You're gonna hear First of the Month. You're gonna hear For the Love of Money. You're gonna hear Notorious Thugs. You're going to hear Days of Our Lives, which to me, I think. That is probably my favorite. I believe that's my favorite Bone Thugs song.
Now, some of the better Bone Thugs songs aren't going to be stuff that everyone recognizes regionally, or it's going to be something where if you had the album, you rocked with it. So I broke it down into certain categories. I got the songs that you listed. Some of their biggest records are Crossroad, First of the Month, Thuggish Ruggish Bone, Notorious Thugs, and even I tried with Akon. I don't really like that song like that, but it was a big record. Now some of the small. Go ahead.
Well, Days of Our Lives was big because it's gonna set it off.
I got it. I got Days of Our Lives is like that's like their last one it's considered big. But the other ones that I like, they're smaller hits. So even in the versus battle, I'll like to hear them. I don't know if people are rocking with them like that, which is Resurrection, the Thug Mentality, THUG, Change the World. For the Love of Money, I actually have as a smaller hit, and then It's All Good, which was like a bigger in South.
You got it as a smaller hit?
I got For the Love of Money, I got it as a smaller hit.
Oh wow.
Now once again, I know they're gonna play it, but they're going up against 3-6. I don't know how that's going to fare against them, but
That's like probably one of their most recognizable songs.
I don't know, bro. Like
you got Eazy-E, like especially Eazy-E part standing on the corner straight slay. Oh, he's coming.
Crossroads, first of the month, Thuggish Ruggish Bone, Notorious Thugs. I don't know if I
what was their second single?
Was it Thuggish Ruggish Bone?
That was their first song.
Oh, so second was For the Love of Money?
There you go.
Okay. All right. So
as far as radio spins and all that kind of stuff, yes.
I mean, it's like 6 dozen in one hand, half a dozen in one hand, 6 in the other. At this point, we all know these songs are getting played. It's just how are they going to do against the competition? So the next man up, 3-6 Mafia, what songs are they going to play?
Stay Fly.
Yep.
Sipping on Syrup.
Yep.
Popping My Collar.
Okay.
But then you still kind of run into some of these, like the Project Packs or whatever. Then you got the Chicken Head, Tear the Club Up.
And I understand what you're saying. Chicken Head, remember that was on Baby Boy. So it's a lot of people know it, so it's on Baby Boy's on
that.
Yeah. So, but keep going.
Riding Spinners.
Yep.
Slob on the Knob.
I don't forgot about Riding Spinners.
Who Run It?
Yep.
Baby Mama. And their Grammy song. I'm sorry, not the Oscar song.
Hard Out
Here for a Pimp. There is no way they leave that song off. It won an Oscar. So
it's
and of course we're leaving a slew of songs off.
A lot. You said Slob on My Knob, right?
So say that.
Yeah.
And then you got the Juicy J got his whole. It's just so much music. The International Players Anthem, I Choose You. That's originally Project Pat's song, right? UGK,
that's why everybody in the video,
UGK, because I watched the interview by Bon B. Bon B was talking about how that song came to be because Pimp C heard the song originally. He wanted to do something with it, but that's Project Pat's song. That's his song. It's on his album. But it's not called obviously that, but that's his song.
Yeah, they're going that we just listed, if I counted correctly, about 12 songs, and we leaving a lot off. So I feel like the next logical question to ask is who's going to win? And we've already kind of given hints on who we think. Now it's just a matter of what's the percentages look like. Is this going to be a blowout? Is it going to be a close call?
Well, we just named a lot of Bone Thug songs, heavy songs, winnable round songs. 3-6 Mafia just listed some songs, and of course, I know they're gonna tear us up in the comments as usual because we forgot to mention this and blah blah blah.
We can't mention every song. It's just a matter of the songs we know will get played.
We know that they're gonna play, so we know that they're going to play. Now, if I look at on paper, right? If I go on paper and I look at the Bone side compared to the 3-6 Mafia side, right? Let's match. Let's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, right? It won an Oscar. Yes, we do know that. But is that an unbeatable song?
I don't think so.
There you go. So we know that song could be beaten. If I look at the Crossroads, is that an unbeatable song?
Yeah, but it's unbeatable. I feel Crossroads is unbeatable, but that may be their, depending on rounds wise, that may be their only unbeatable song.
It may be. So yeah, and I agree. But what I'm looking at from my notes is compared to both groups, it's just songs that we know that they're going to play. From what I have on paper, I would go 50-50.
All right.
Right. Just what I have written down.
You're not too far. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Now, once you add in the production and all the other stuff, that's going to tip the scale to 3-6 Mafia. And I would probably say 55-45 45 or even 60. Give me that spinner 60-40.
All right.
Only because I got that production part.
And I'm going to push, and I'm going to say 55-45 in favor of 3-6. 3-6 got it. The biggest record that'll be played that night is going to belong to Bone Thugs, which is Crossroads. Whatever round is played in is going to be recognized as the biggest song that night. But 3-6 just has a lot of hits that are linked to the club or just the culture. And I just feel like they're going to keep, they're gonna win some rounds by points. And it's really going to help them out as the scores table. So I'm pushing with you, and I'm saying 55-45, 3-6.
3-6.
All right, we agree.
And it's funny we didn't mention any features.
Yeah,
I mean, Busy Bone was
busy and crazy.
Busy was liked a lot. He just, but Crazy Bone really was.
Yeah.
He for some reason, Crazy Bone kind of reminds me of the RZA. Why? I don't know.
I mean, they got that long face, but
but just
yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, and all right. So without last but not least, I mean, we're moving on to two divas in the industry, Chaka Khan and Stephanie Mills.
All right, so Chaka Khan and Stephanie
and this
Mills.
comes as a surprise. This comes to a surprise to almost no one, because Stephanie Mills let it slip during the Breakfast Club interview that they had been trying to put her up against Chaka. And at the time, I know there were some reactions. My reaction is still consistent when I first heard that news to when I first
not that they tried to. They wanted to go against each other.
Oh, so they wanted to?
They took it to Verzuz in Switzerland, and they were the ones who were like,
oh, I didn't know that. I thought you know what? That is right. And then she wanted to go up against, and then they were kind of pushing back on it. And I'm gonna kind of agree. I don't does this matchup make sense? I'll go first. To me, it doesn't. No offense, but I mean, Chaka has a lot more just pop success than Stephanie Mills. That's no disrespect to Stephanie. It's just Chaka Khan was regarded as a pop artist. A lot of her songs charted, and outside of errors, I don't see a lot of correlation between the two. So does this matchup make sense for you, Bill?
The amount of songs and hits, no, but I understand.
It's gonna be right around Thanksgiving.
You have to see, a lot of things people have to realize that they come from an era of singing, right? Patti LaBelle and Gladys already went. Aretha's not here. Whitney's not here. You got Anita Baker, who's from that, that era. You have your Betty Wrights, and you have your different ones, but Stephanie she's a singer. She take out the I, put an A, she's a singer.
Yeah.
Chaka, we know her. She's one of them. So I think that Chaka and Stephanie understands both. I think they respect each other vocally.
Oh, for sure. They're homegirls. They're
homegirls. But the respect is there vocally, and I think that they're probably like, "Hey, let's get it done." Because really, who else would Chaka go up against right now? You can't do the two that's already gone. And
honestly,
gone.
Yeah, because she should have went up against Gladys. To be honest, they got a lot of similar records on a lot of same soundtracks. She already went. Chaka should have went up. She should have went up against Gladys Knight.
I say she should have went up against Patty.
Yeah,
I say Patty.
But I mean, Gladys. But they win already. I agree with you. Who could she?
Who's left from that era?
To me, Tina just it's not the same era. And then
Tina's Tina would probably have to go up against Diana. Because their era are more similar.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more longevity. I'm trying to think of somebody who was just killing it in the 80s that's still with us today. So Chaka Khan's in the same boat as JD. You can't go up against anybody, so you just gotta pick whatever pick from the litter. So next up, are there any advantages and disadvantages? We kind of mentioned some already. What are the advantages?
Shaka
for
has the
Chaka Khan or
advantage.
Steph?
Shaka
Huh?
has the advantage. Shaka has the advantage.
She has way more pop
That's
records.
the advantage.
Her songs are sampled so much, even if you don't know the original, the crowd will be familiar with her catalog because I heard the Whitney Houston version of the song. I
Well,
heard the Prince version of the song.
The crowd who's going to listen at this knows their version.
They know the music. All right, so
They know their version.
Yeah, disadvantages is basically, I feel after never knew love like this before, or a lot of folks just not gonna know Stephanie catalog like that, so that, but then Versus is for you to introduce records to people sometimes. I just feel like it's gonna be a bad stage to do it to, because every song that Shaka's first 12 songs everybody's heard of. Like let's get into their catalog.
All right, so let's go Shaka because it's easier to run down.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Even when you go Chaka Khan and Rufus, you got the whole "Tell Me Something Good,"
Tell me something
"Ain't
good.
Nobody," "What You Gonna Do
Sweet
for
Thing.
Me," "Sweet Thing," "I'm Everyone."
Do you know what you feel?
"Angel." "Angel's" one of my favorite songs by her.
Yep.
I mean, that song is beautiful.
And I get into the solo tracks, get into the solo stuff, Set It Off soundtracks, right? Missing You, Waiting to Excel soundtrack, My Funny Valentine, I'm Every Woman, Chaka, which shout out to Whitney. And then I Feel For You, the Prince, shout out to Prince, Through the Fire, shout out to Kanye. These are a lot of records people know, people are familiar with. And those are 12 records we named where everybody knows them.
Listen, that I Feel For You.
Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it. That's all I want to do. Chaka Khan, bruh.
Stephanie never crossed. Let me take that back. I'm not going to say never. I can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
As far how big
she said that. She said that. She admitted that in an interview. That she just never played that industry game. Like, and shout out to Stephanie, but she was true to the art form because she got the Broadway appeal and everything.
If I was Stephanie, I've seen some of the songs from the Wiz.
All right, so here it is.
It was me first.
She wants to be smart. Look, so let's listen first. Let's listen to her catalog. Never Knew Love Like This Before, which is like a big DJ anthem now, right? Mm-hmm. When I Think of Home, and then Something in the Way You Make Me Feel, I feel like it's a decent, moderate size record to where enough people know about it if you really be on oldies like that. But after that, I'm playing Wiz songs. I played Dorothy on Broadway.
Well, you got to play I Feel Good all over.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying
Feel the Fire with Teddy P, Two Hearts with Teddy. You have to play those songs.
Yep. But even that, it leaves a huge gap where I think she could fill a void by playing some, music from the not screenplay, but
Broadway show.
The Broadway show for the Wiz. Now who will win?
80-20.
Give me 80-20. And let me I went close.
No, you can spin it. 80-20.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry, Barry. I'm not gonna disrespect Stephanie.
I'm not.
She may pull up some stuff that maybe like, oh God, dog, I forgot.
Yeah.
Or stuff that she should probably haven't written. Yep. So I'm gonna go 70-30.
All right, so you're pushing with me. I had 70-30. I'm going Chaka. And the main reason I'm basing that 30%, like you said, I've seen Stephanie Mills in an interview, and honestly, I've kind of developed an affinity for her after seeing her in interviews. She's extremely hilarious, wonderful personality. And she may end up winning the crowd off of her stage presence, like just the way she presents some of her material. So I'm giving her that 30% edge, mainly based off of her star power. Like her personality may win some folks over, but it's just it's a tough feat to ask when you're going up against somebody who has as much hits as Chaka. By the way, when I grew up in a house full of females, my mom, my auntie, my sister, my cousin, and my other sister, and it was just two boys. So they outnumbered us 5-2, if I got the numbers correct. All right, so yeah. So obviously me and my cousin always had respect for women and all that. And some of our music taste they're female anthems. My favorite song growing up, it's always been "I'm Every Woman." It's the Whitney version, but I went back and I love the Chaka version just as much. You know what I mean? So some of this may be some bias coming on my end because she was the first one to kind of sing one of my favorite songs. But nah, Chaka just got a little bit too much hit. She's tied to soundtracks like Love and Basketball, Waiting to Excel, Set It Off. She's represented on a lot of Black classics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And
so 70-30. We
70,
pushed and we
30.
said 70-30, and then we said 55-45 for 3-6. So we'll see if we're wrong. I like my chances on this one.
I think 70-30 is going to be right where it is. 70-30, and you know, maybe the after effects, it may hit 65-35.
But it's still we would get
You know.
we would get the W. Not just in case. Let's put our money where our mouth is, or better yet, you guys put your money where your mouth is. What could they do with these coins, Bill?
Listen, go down to my 2 cents, leave your comments, because we may be wrong. You guys may be right. And what we've come to understand and realize when we are reading your comments is that you guys see other things that we don't see, and it makes us think. And a lot of times when you guys go back and forth with each other and we're reading it and commenting, it makes me think of things in a different light. Now, again, when you look at hits, so if I write out hits and I write out the hits, it's heavily on Chaka's side. But again, we know how Verzuz goes. A lot of things depends on when you play them. Yeah. Are you even going to play them?
Bobby Brown versus Keith Sweat was when I learned you need to shut up and just watch.
Yes.
And then also, I went in confident Bobby was going to have it. And then I read the 2 cents in the comment section, and I started changing my mind immediately after our video or preview was aired. So even if you agree with our picks, if you don't agree with how it's skewed, where you could possibly say, no, it's 3-6 got it, but it's a little closer than you say, or it's further than you say. Same thing with Stephanie and Chaka. Now it's a little closer than you guys let on, or it's extremely further. You know, that 80-20 that Bill had was on par. So let us know. We're anxious to see it. And then what's another way they could support us, Bill?
Please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Follow us because we're coming up. We're coming up on some content for December that you guys are going to enjoy. We're going to enjoy. We've already talked about it. We've actually, besides recording it, we've already completed our December video that you guys are going to receive because we talked about this maybe a year ago. So you guys are going to enjoy the content that we're going to release. So we just really, really, really want you guys to please follow us, subscribe to the channel, and share our channel. Share the videos, share the channel, do all of that. We're also on Instagram, and in this corner with the number 1 behind it, and in this corner with the number 1 behind. Follow that as well. Just show us support. We're just 2 young guys. Well, I'm not really young, but we're just 2 guys who are just
ages in the mind of the just had a birthday.
We're just here, and we're just doing something we love to do, which is talk about music, movies, TV, pop culture.
Awesome. All right. Hey, look forward to hearing from you guys after this battle, and let's see if we right or wrong. But hey man, appreciate you guys. That's all that I got. Peace.
Peace.